Hello students, in previous lecture you have seen the definition of cerebral palsy and what's the etiology for cerebral palsy. In this lecture you will see the different types of cerebral palsy. Types of cerebral palsy. There are different types of cerebral palsy that affect various parts of the brain. Each type causes specific movement disorders. The most types of cerebral palsy are spastic cerebral palsy. Another one is the dyskinetic cerebral palsy. Third one is the ataxia cerebral palsy. And fourth one is the mixed type cerebral palsy. These are the different types of cerebral palsy. That is, first one is the spastic cerebral palsy. Second one is the dyskinetic cerebral palsy. Third one is the ataxia cerebral palsy. And last one, that is the fourth one, is the mixed type cerebral palsy. Now you will see the first one, that is the spastic cerebral palsy. Spastic cerebral palsy is the most common cerebral palsy and affects approximately 80% of people with cerebral palsy. Most common cerebral palsy, spastic cerebral palsy, where cortical pyramidal cells are involved. As you know, types of cerebral palsy जो है different types है and this affects various parts of the brain. First one, we are discussing first one, that is the spastic cerebral palsy. जो ये spastic cerebral palsy the most common type है cerebral palsy में and this affects approximately 80% of people with cerebral palsy. Spastic cerebral palsy में cortical pyramidal cells involve होते हैं. This is characterized by increased stretch reflexes and increased muscle tone. Spastic cerebral palsy में क्या होता है, जो इसमें पोजीशन ऑफ द लिम्स होती है दैट में बी एबनॉर्मल. पोजीशन ऑफ लिम्स जो होती है वो एबनॉर्मल होती है. ऑल्सो जो जनरल एक्टिविटीज होती है दैट में बी क्लमसी. देयर may be deformity of the joints due to spastic muscle action. Children may have hemiplegia, paraplegia, and quadriplegia. These are some paralysis children में है, that is the hemiplegia, that is side पर paralysis होती है. Paraplegia means lower half paralysis होती है. Quadriplegia is the another paralysis. Second type is the dyskinetic cerebral palsy. Dyskinetic cerebral palsy. Children with dyskinetic cerebral palsy have involuntary movements. They may have involuntary movements originating from basal ganglion and corpus luteum, corpus stratum. Dyskinetic cerebral palsy, another type of cerebral palsy. In dyskinetic cerebral palsy, children may have involuntary movements होती है that are originating from basal ganglion and corpus stratum. जो ये abnormal movements होती है या हम बोलते हैं involuntary movements that are absent in sleep. ये sleep में नहीं होते हैं, ये movements नहीं आते, involuntary movements. There may be slow or worm-like movements. Worm-like movements होती है इनमें dyskinetic cerebral palsy में. Also, children may have drooling, that is the excessive salivation due to the involvement of oral muscles and the tongue. And also there may be difficulty in speaking. In addition to this, there may be visual or eye defects and deafness. Deformities जो है that may develop due to continuous uncontrollable movements, most commonly originating from basal ganglion and corpus stratum. This is the dyskinetic cerebral palsy. Third type, that is the ataxia cerebral palsy. Yeah, ataxic cerebral palsy. Ataxic cerebral palsy, this is the rare type, or we can say this is the least common type of cerebral palsy. It occurs when cerebellum and its pathway is involved. Ataxic cerebral palsy ये least common type cerebral palsy होती है, rare type होती है. Ataxic cerebral palsy में क्या होता है, इसमें cerebellum and its pathway जो है वही involve होता है. So there is failure of muscle coordination. Muscle coordination failure. There is failure of muscle coordination. Resulting in irregular movements. Most commonly, जो ये ataxic cerebral palsy है, this is characterized by voluntary muscle movements that often appear disorganized, clumsy, or jerky. Movements. Children with this form of cerebral palsy usually have problems with the balance and coordination. Also, they may have difficulty in walking, performing fine motor functions such as grasping objects and writing. This is the third type. Last one is the mixed cerebral palsy. mixed cerebral palsy. In this type, mixed cerebral palsy में, there is combination of spastic cerebral palsy and dyskinetic cerebral palsy. Some people, or you may see some children may have a combination of symptoms. There is combination of symptoms from different types of cerebral palsy. This is called mixed type cerebral palsy. इसमें क्या होता है, combination of symptoms होते हैं, चाहे वो symptoms spastic cerebral palsy की combination और dyskinetic cerebral palsy में हो जाए, या यहाँ पे जो symptoms पे combination होते हैं, चाहे वो हो जाए dyskinetic cerebral palsy या ataxic cerebral palsy या spastic cerebral palsy and ataxic cerebral palsy. हम simply बोलते हैं यहाँ पे combination of symptoms होता है जो from क्या होते हैं, इसके different types of cerebral palsy होते हैं. लेकिन in most cases में जो ये mixed cerebral palsy, people may experience a mix of spastic and dyskinetic cerebral palsy in most cases. This is the mixed cerebral palsy. So these were the 4 types of cerebral palsy. First one was the spastic cerebral palsy, second one was the dyskinetic cerebral palsy, third one was the ataxic, and last one was the mixed cerebral palsy. Thank you.